TV goes and see how proud his parents, they already are proud, but imagine if he's lifting that trophy at the end.
Yeah, well, here's a look at our map rotation, and what this means is that the players are loading in, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a dang good couple days, but Taylor, this is going to be the best one. I can feel it. It's all about Zero Dam to start things off, folks. This is going to be an airdrop round. There will be 2 airdrops on this map. And Zero Dam, yes, hard, and frankly, there's going to be a lot of loot. But the first airdrop will be high-value loot. The second airdrop will be an AWM and its ammo. And you cannot store that ammo in your safe box. If you get the AWM, the goal is to get out and take it into a Mandel Brick round, folks. We are dropping in to our very first game of the day in the stadium in China. $500,000 on the line.
The stage has been set. The first opportunity to become the first ever Delta Force Invitational champion in 2025 is here, and we have the first look at our spawns, the first opportunity to showcase you are ready to take the moment by storm. We look at admin immediately. It's going to be ESG, and I believe Q9 going head-to-head. Both China teams, both home teams about to duke it out.
Super important, remember, tier 1 spawns, you cannot get them back-to-back. ESG and Q9, they race to admin. They will likely fight at admin early or at least look at each other and probably get the most loot, but they will not have tier 1 spawns in the Mandel Brick round, which is arguably much, much, much more important. But already finding some solid loot here from Fallen, HR off screen, finding a CD for 229K. Quick look at those spawns. If you didn't see everybody, here's a summary. FN, they're in Visitor Center. Everybody says it's the worst in comp. We'll see what they can do with it as Q9 finds some loot. And already we're trying to take down Saeed on screen and pick up some extra loot in admin. Ink up in barracks. MG way down at the bottom of cement, and MBA in substation.
One of the things I want to say for Q9's sake, obviously they're going to fire some shots. They're going to take down Saeed, but that is most likely going to bring in the aggressive roster of ESG. This is a team that loves, or traditionally loves, to push rosters. We take our first look at our operators.
Yeah, and the big question in my mind is how many people changed it up. Most of these teams have all of their comps pre-built going all the way to round 6 or at least to round 4. A quick look at Ink, double Viren and a D-Wolf. They are all gas, no brakes. An unreal start for them. Definitely changed things up. And, well, I don't know if you can hear the crowd behind us. I assume you can. But we love production when they find the loot before the players do. We'll see if anybody's able to pick that up. That's a lot of money sitting there waiting for somebody to find it.
And the Brick Addiction going with the triple LMG setup. Something they've been doing quite well. Clearly slaying out the most out of everyone.
Yeah, one other thing I saw on the left-hand side when they were showing those builds, reminder, as Q9 actually takes a look at a potential wall breaker mission being done by ESG. Shouldn't find a knock here unless there's a huge mistake, but at least get some info. One thing I saw, reminder, this is round 1. It's all about getting your money up. Some of these teams did elect to not bring in very much loot at all. Maybe not even armor at all, because it's about just getting your money up. They're going to prio getting out of the map and not spending a bunch on loadouts for the very first round where there's not a Mandel Brick.
Both teams that are here in the last chance, it's Ink versus MG, start to converge together. A potential fight brewing, not only between Q9 and ESG with Mo, keeping a line of sight on where ESG is currently at doing the wall breaker, but also Ink versus MG. Now, Ink and MG have got history. Of course, the reason why MG is here is because of Ink, but Ink, the boogeyman, might be looking to shut them down too. Something they did to SDS yesterday.
Yeah, they looked at him and said, well, we're just going to get back to our spawn. Don't like the fight, didn't want to take it. They're going to back up. I think not a bad option. They're kind of out in the open. Weird fight to push inside. MG is going to have cement still free for the most part. Theoretically, take some longer sight lines, and okay, MG still catching a few strays. But Ink is backing up, and MG may get a little bit aggressive here. One of the things we saw from MG that was really interesting is they're a team that definitely was prioritizing looting. I saw chat calling them the looters of the lobby. They would run around and loot and then try to get out, and that was what they're prioring. Nice gold bar there from ESG. They are currently doing wall breaker. But MG, when they had to, when their back was against the wall and they got active on the back of Onigiri, Bonnie, Envy. I mean, they put up crazy kill numbers in a couple maps, so we'll see what they're going to do this time around. Let's see how aggressive they are. As one of our favorite missions of all time on Zero Dam, we all know it, we all love it. See how much value we get out of the wall breaker mission. Good grief, that's crazy.
Oh, that's huge. Q9 up to 3.5. They're finding a 1.5 mil item. So critical. Reminder, there's only a potential of 6 games today. Assets are going to matter, plus the airdrop going in between Q9 and ESG, and they got priority over it.
Yeah, a nice find there for Q9. ESG doing wall breaker, finding 4, I think, antlers that are like 14K maybe, and a couple slaughters, which is really not great for wall breaker. Yesterday, I think we saw a team do wall breaker and pick up like 4 million out of it, but not as much luck this time around. And you're right, here's a quick look at the map view. An important part of this map is paying attention to those airdrops. And like Taylor said, airdrop is going to be landing right behind the shipping containers, between admin and shipping containers, basically where Q9 is currently set up.
But also, once again, MG and Inc. start to converge together. Another fight potentially going down. So one between Q9 and ESG, the other between Inc. and MG. They are dangerously close together. Envy takes a lot of damage. It's going to be all right, though. No worries. We know the AI has been quite deadly, honestly, throughout our 6 games throughout the days.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Everybody is laughing because yesterday and the day before, I think we saw like 5 full, not only knocks, but full kills by some of the AI on the map. Stress can get to you, man. Small mistakes. The AI do hit sometimes, especially our security director on Space City. But either way you look at it, Inc. is not interested in a fight early. An aggressive roster in terms of operators, but not an aggressive playstyle thus far. Here's our first airdrop. This could be pretty beneficial, especially for a team that's already got a nice early lead. Obviously, some gold armor early is nice. Can be able to pull that into the next round where there's a mantle brick. Nothing insane from this one. Decent drive.
Okay.
We'll take those and a CD.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Solid.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about this crowd is that anytime a red item is pulled, you're going to hear them roar.
They
man.
love it.
I'm
they love
so pumped about this, but that's like 500K plus or minus another like 80K or so from other gear. A solid start. Q9 obviously with a major advantage in terms of loot value if they can get out.
And that's the big question, if they can get out.
Okay, big moment though. 45 seconds left on the extraction timer and dam extraction. ESG, they do wall breaker, and they're intending to get out. As per the usual, we got to fight around it, and it's going to happen very quickly.
Yes.
Q9, FN, all converging on this extraction. Everybody wanting to get out, but it's going to be ESG with a clear advantage.
Q9 starts to drop south towards admin, right below where FN is currently at. All they need is just a sign of a member up ahead from Q9 for them to pump the brakes. The question is, do they understand somebody's going to be just off to the right for ESG? You would assume so, right? Given the wall breaker task. Once again, MG Inc. start to rotate down. We take a look at Baby B. MG just up ahead.
They're getting out.
And they are.
No one can test them. Frankly, I wouldn't either. I don't know how you win it, but here's a fight on main. All of a sudden, MG is in trouble. Kills all. Living up to his name, and as per the usual, finds the first blood. That rush rate going crazy, but too easy. Sets up the flank, sets up the angle, and all of a sudden, it's a 3v1 against a Suniva, who is just dead in the water.
Kills
a
all.
Knife to the back, a knife to the face. Tickle his toes, I don't care. Inc. starting off with a bang.
Starting off with a bang indeed. They were tiptoeing around each other for the longest time, but Inc. finally was able to secure the eliminations, and from one fight potentially to another roster going to be rotating down to their current location. That's going to be Mandel Brick Addiction from the EU side of things. So EU versus North America.
Well, a couple key timers, obviously you can see it on your map feed. That is our second airdrop, and this airdrop is nowhere near anyone. Inc. theoretically coming up from the south could get it first. That airdrop will have the AWM and its ammo. It does look like Q9 and FN could get into a fight really early. All of a sudden, Flarich is down first. This is a brutal fight, especially with HR down. Is just Bishka by himself. Gonna have to do God's work to get out of this one, and I don't think it's gonna happen. Q9, strike down, fall, and Q9 going to control the extraction.
Controlling the extraction indeed. Well done. A big fight going their way. You got to be happy with that performance. Only 3 teams left on the map as ESG has managed to extract. The question is for Q9, will they get out unscathed? You'd have to assume so. The 2 remaining teams left on the map are going to be all the way down south. Inc. has not been able to avoid a fight, but that's maybe a good thing. Remember, it is 400K per elimination. A potential 1.2 million value fight just in front of them with NBA.
I assumed they would play aggressive based on their operator choices. Mantle Brick Addiction staring at Inc., wondering how do we take this fight in a way that makes any sort of sense. An extraction between them. Boldo technically in control. Still 2 minutes on the dam extraction at the top of the map, where assumedly Q9 is going to get out.
They start to slow down a bit, only because you can't really push that open fight. Great shots onto Skydie. That'll drop them down low. Too easy. In the last fight that they had against MG, by the way, did a wonderful job getting the off angles, and he's looking to potentially set up for another off angle himself. He is going to be the furthest away from his roster, so with Killzall taking all the attention and focus with the shots, it maybe gives an opportunity for Too Easy to make a play on NBA unbeknownst up ahead.
And patience is a virtue often. And on stage for $500,000. The margins have been insanely thin in the past. So remember this moment. Single kill, 400K. Fight over an extraction at the bottom of the map. Q9 absolutely will have the best game here in Zero Dam by a country mile. 6.6 mil. They are leaving in 53 seconds, completely uncontested at the top of the map. This is the only fight and the only 2 teams left that actually matter now.
Boldo being a nuisance with the shield up ahead. Again, Too Easy with this off angle. He has been spotted, but that makes things awkward for NBA. They just can't push forward. They're going to get taken down. Baby B hasn't fired a single shot just yet. He's staying low. How do you think this plays out? I mean, neither team can really push up.
Yeah, this is brutal. I mean, playing for that extraction point, you're going to have to get a knock. Smokes and runs, sure, on the side of NBA, but both of these teams just in a blender, trying to figure out how to take it. Right now, it is just a waiting game. You can't wait too much longer. 4 minutes. Theoretically, Inc. could wrap out of here. Both teams could. NBA would have to go to the crest to get out. Inc. I guess they'd have to go repair passage. But a slow roll, and Mantle Brick Addiction is sending Skydie out by himself. Could make a full wrap.
Oh,
go for a flank.
Well, Killzall and Skydie meet
wow.
up. They're making the same play.
Look at our mini map on the left-hand side there. You can see a gray dot holding this off angle.
Oh.
Killzall is reading him like a book right now.
He's going straight into him.
Killzall's just holding the angle. He's not actually playing for a flank. Skydie has no idea that Killzall is playing for this. Killzall's got to spot him pretty soon, though, and it looks like maybe there has been a perfect setup, a perfect read. Killzall has been on that Rosetta Stone, man. He is learning every single language in the book, including how to read his opponents.
Well, now it's a 3v2. The man advantage over to the side of Inc. They have fought tooth and nail. Good positioning. And now, for the last remaining 2 members of NBA, Boldo, Yuval, how do they decide to play this? They do get relatively close to the extraction point, but as we've been saying, Inc. has free line of sight to mow them down if they do push forward.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes, but this extraction is dead center between these 2 teams. Frankly, Uvalier with NBA is in the best position to actually try to get out, but the problem is you're going to get gunned. That's why Suniva can be so valuable in some of these early rounds, these non-Mantle Brick rounds. He can make some weird plays. But remember, folks, all of these players do have a 3x3 safe box. It's very, very valuable. And theoretically, a couple kills, a couple items in your safe box, the gear you bring in is a complete wash. You get all that money back. You could see these teams stall out if they do have anything in their safe boxes, or frankly, all of their loot in their safe boxes, which is possible with some low loot numbers. And again, Taylor, to recap, the only two teams that get out of the map are our two China teams.
Right. But even still, I think Inc.'s had a wonderful game already. I mean, what, 3 eliminations to their name? That's going to be an extra 1.2 million. NBA, I don't know how many elims NBA has been able to accomplish. I don't think any, if at all. But either way, though, Inc. getting out with the best, you would have to assume, outside of Q9. Maybe we make a play. There is only 1 minute and 15 left. Like you said, it could stagnate, but I have a feeling, man, like you got one aggressive roster on the side of EU. You've got Inc., who's been getting more aggressive the more they play. Who knows? They might make an attempt here.
Yeah, they're going to play for this extraction. I think everybody's going to sprint at it. Obviously, player advantage. Here comes potential knockdown for Viren. Does land. A great hit, but unfortunately, I think they're just a hair too far away to capitalize on it. They do have 2 Virens, so they could stack these. This player wouldn't be able to play for it. Unfortunately, I think it was mistimed. We'll see what they're able to do. NBA throwing triple blaster downrange to try to get any connection that they can. Somebody's going to have to be a hero, and it's going to have to be Mantle Brick Addiction.
There they go.
On the point. Gonna have to move up and play for it. Barrel stuff, can you get a knock? Yes, is he able to get one? Can he get the full? No. Yes, he knifes him! He knifes both! Can he get both cleaned up? This is a lot of money exchanging hands. And Mantle Brick Addiction, somehow, some way, on the back of Saniva, on the back of some smokes. Inc. cannot run, and they cannot hide. Boldo, not even a weapon likely, just a Saniva. What a error, what a mistake. Mantle Brick Addiction pick up 800K, and they're just going to run this player out of here as Uvalier does get out of the map. What a wild finish to a very weird fight.
Well, it was Q9 who got out with the most, but it was fireworks till the very end. A beautifully done job from Mantle Brick Addiction to hold their ground despite the beautiful read from Killza onto Skydie. Ultimately, it was the 2 remaining members from NBA who were able to head glitch and ultimately mow down the players going for the extraction of Inc. Inc. could have had such a tremendous game number 1, and they fall behind. Granted, only game 1 at 0 down. It's not a Mantle Brick.
Covering their push, but they weren't able to get him down. A weird fight, a frustrating one, but you did see Inc. pick up a lot of kills. Here's a look at the overall leaderboard. Yes, Inc. had basically nothing in their safe boxes, 0.32 mil, but they did get 4 kills. That is 1.6 mil that team will be added to their stash value.
Right.
But our round earnings absolutely are dominated by Q9 at the top.
Yep.
Not only because they were able to get the 6.63 mil, but they were able to get out with it, man. They beat Fallen at the Dam Extraction, and those are their 3 kills.
Yeah, the 2 teams that took the heaviest hits on 0 Dem was Fallen and MG. They basically walk out with nothing. It's almost like it didn't even happen. For Inc., even though they are at the bottom, like you mentioned, the 1.6 mil going their way, that's going to put them up in 3rd place. We take a look at the round damage stats. Dominated by Inc., followed by NBA, and then Q9. All 3 of those rosters eliminating teams. Of course, ESG, they have 0, but it doesn't mean that they were eliminated. They were the team that extracted early on.
Yeah, super interesting damage stats across the board. Inc., NBA, super solid. Q9, like you mentioned, pretty solid as well. Overall, a pretty good start, but ESG, not a shot fired because no one contested them at the Dam Extraction. Dam Extraction can be pulled twice, even in a 16-minute timer. It was done so, the first by ESG, and everybody said, nah, we can get out later, and because of that, they get out scot-free.
Scot-free indeed. Beautifully done from Inc., though. I think they came to this land environment. We had a lot of questions for them. You mentioned that roller coaster kind of experience, roller coaster team or aggressive regions out there. Best team has to be Q9. Naturally, they get the most loot extracted, 6.63 million. Guar, Mo, K1DE, all 3 of these members so incredibly intelligent. And Mo, mind you, again, keeping ESG at bay. Who knows if ESG wants to pounce after the wall breaker attempt? Do they want to go back and double back into admin? Well, no, because Mo was gatekeeping them. And of course, on the side of Q9, the rich get richer. Guar is going to be your round MVP, 2.0 round KD, 2 kills, 2 assists, and 205 damage dealt. What makes Q9 so strong is not only can they get the assets and slay out, but all 3 members of the team can pick up where the other left off.
Yeah, and again, that fight against Fallen was a very difficult one, and Guar getting an entry knock, being able to play with his squad, get the fulls, be able to get extracted.